Hello and welcome in. We got another video here. It's how to race dumb. Obviously this is Tour of Watopia, it's not a race. I'm starting at the back of the pack. There's 500 people here. So we gotta hit the hammer pretty hard to get to the front of the I'm gonna say race, but it's a group ride. Everyone treats it as a race. So here we go. So I have a friend, and this isn't just picking on my friend, is I see this a lot, especially with race score. This kind of exposed the way people race, and my friend kind of brought this to my attention. He's an outdoor guy. He only comes inside whenever it's raining or about this time of year. So he's just a seasonal Zwifter. He is not a hardcore Zwifter like me or several of the other people that stream or make videos. So he's like, dude, I did this race. I did 4.0, man. I was crushing it. And all of a sudden we got to climb and I just flat out, they killed me. Well, I want a hard workout. So I did this, whatever, in the stage 1 week. So this video is a few weeks old when I recorded it, but I wanted a hard workout where I pushed myself, and it just, kind of worked very perfectly with his comments. He just got back from France riding, and he hopped into one of these community races, and he was telling me kind of how he's not a huge fitness, so he thought he was going to do great, and then just got demolished. So I go out the front. So my whole entire plan of this entire race is to see if I can get off the front and do as much work as possible. Absolutely bury myself. So here, and someone here at one point says, oh man, got to get off the front. Well, I am trying to be, there it is. I'm trying to do as much work as possible and make it difficult on me. Now I get up to like 10 seconds, 12 seconds at one point, and everyone's just kind of chilling. Obviously, there's 500 people here. There's no way I'm going to go anywhere. But the whole point is, this is one of those, I'm doing this for my workout. And I'm riding, bouncing around my threshold VO2 area. My FTP is right in the 340 range. So this is doing a lot of work. And coming into this climb, the people who are behind me are really starting to light things up. And I'm expecting that. So I'm expecting this climb to be crazy because they're going to catch me right at Hank's gas station here. I'm going to have to go pretty hard to keep ahead of that front group and keep with them. So this is kind of fun overall. I am demolishing myself, but this is just kind of fun because I just want to see how much I got. And ultimately, at one point, you'll see the difference in all the work I've been doing versus chilling in the pack, which is what happened with my buddy. He's doing the work thinking in his mind, he's racing. He's putting himself out there and he's getting one hell of a workout. And then when he came to me and he's like, oh man, I can't believe how fast they were. Well, it's because of this situation here. Like every chance I get a little bit of recovery, I'm back on the front. And there's a few times like this guy, he came with me, we're doing some work. And, this is not hard. This is figure 8. It's like 29 kilometers. You go both directions on the Hilly KOM, forward and reverse. So it's just kind of a longer route. And I do like this route. This is a lot of fun. You got the punchy climbs and the rollers. It's a pretty good course. I feel Zwift did a good job with this. So I'm taking a little breather on the downhill or back at the front. And you'll see this in different community races to where people are on the front and doing work, and then they're gassed. Maybe their goal for the race was just what I'm doing, as much work as possible and try and make it hard, not only for myself, but for others. And I accomplished that goal because here coming up, you'll see once we get through the Essies in the Italian Villa. So we're 18 minutes into this and I'm averaging right around 340. A lot of it was above that because of the downhills I was resting, but still. So we got a couple guys going here, and I pick it up over this bump. And also, like, if you've watched my other videos about how to draft and where to use downhills, there's a Seaside Sprint video I have that really showed how to use that momentum. I didn't use any of that. Instead of using a draft coming through and hitting that with the speed from the draft, I just hit it off the front, and that's a very poor use in the draft, in the bunch like this, not utilizing the draft. So here we're coming up this, and the guy that was off the front got caught, so I just pull through. I continue on the power, and at this point I'm getting pretty tired, and 20 minutes of some VO2 and whatnot. I'm still in the front here, or toward the front I should say. But if you notice, all the people around me are right behind me. If you're looking at those powers, I slow it down here. Yep, here it is. You can see I'm at 4.2 at 48 kilometers an hour going downhill, and they're at 3. So this is about the point to where in my head it's like, all right, I still have to climb the hilly KOM. I'm pretty tired. You know, I've been doing a bunch of work. As you can see by that graph, it's been tough. So I back it off right here. And once I get back up just holding the draft, I'm like 100 watts less of power. So this is a good example of you're doing work, you're getting your workout in, but it's racing dumb. You're not, if your goal is to place well, being on the front and doing all this work is not ideal. I got off the front several times, they brought me back. Huge power numbers, heart rate's jacked. So here we are. I mean, I'm sitting like low to mid 200 watts, and you're just staying right with the group. And all those guys that were behind, some of them were doing work, but in reality, they were having the time of their life just drafting here. And I do a few more efforts, maybe one more effort, I think. I can't remember exactly where it is. I know coming out of the volcano, not a volcano, I'm sorry, the aquarium, I do an effort. Oh, here I used the momentum. Come through, and then coming out of the aquarium. But they've been tracking me back, so I know it's not going anywhere, but just a point of still working and seeing how far I can go. But I can tell you inside, I'm pretty gassed. I mean, this is fun, seeing how much you can do, how far you can go. And like, let's say they didn't really chase you, or you got a handful of guys with you that were working. You know, we may have been able to get away. So that's also the fun part. So here, coming out of the aquarium, this direction hitting the forward hilly KOM is tough, because you got to hit that bump, and you pretty much got to keep the power on. You can't. There is no rest. So you've got the minute and a half coming out of the I keep saying volcano, out of the aquarium, and then you turn up the hilly KOM for, you know, at least for me, it's, I think, 2 minutes. I think I just sneaked under. Yeah, right there. You saw my my PR at 150. So, but most of them are over 2 minutes. So, and this is the point to where I'm just riding my pace. I don't got anything left, and right around this corner, I tap out because I'm done. Mental midget. However, I did a lot of work. My goal for the ride was it. And then coupling with my buddy's conversation, I was like, how much drafting did you do? He's like, none. I was on the front the whole time. And I'm like, well, that's why when you got to the climb, because he was on the surf and turf course. And I said, well, if you were in the front the whole time, they were just relaxing behind you. They weren't doing much. And that's basically what it boils down to. If you're racing and looking for a good result, sitting at the front, not actually doing work, is the best way to attack these races. So it's also kind of funny sometimes whenever, you know, my buddy, he's saying that. I was like, dude, I've got so much to teach you. So hopefully in situations where you want to do work, you want to get yourself out front, hey, go ahead. But you also got to kind of realize and read the race of, okay, this isn't going anywhere. We're just going to sit. I'll react with moves. So that's, you know, the opposite of what I did here. I did as much as I could, and then they left me on the climb. I'm sure several of those guys were at the higher end of, you know, the Zwift categories or race groups, however you would say, but power-wise, I'm sure some of them were very high, but they just kind of chilled, did their thing, and that was about it. Whereas me, I'm working at my threshold. So for the rest of this, we're just kind of chilling, making it to the finish. Nothing spectacular, but the overall goal of this was just going hard and making it work out for me. And I think it was like 25 solid minutes of pushing the pace and VO2, a lot of threshold. So kind of working on that race dynamic of doing threshold and the VO2. And I'm happy with that. But this is not how you attack or approach and attack any event where you want to do well. Because all these group rides, these Tour of Watopia are group rides, but everyone races them. You know, as long as there's a leaderboard, and even if there's not a leaderboard, you got more than 2 people, you're racing. And that's the beauty of Zwift, because there is so many people on Zwift. You can almost always find someone to race, whether it's free riding and you go for a sprint banner, or you just, you know, find someone riding similar watts per kilogram and you ride along. But the events, you can always normally find at least a handful of people to race. So this was a good race, or a good event for me. I got my goal for the race. Obviously, I did not win, but that wasn't my goal. It was just to see how much work I could do and see if I could get away at the end. But I showed my buddy this, and I said, look, this is how you do not attack the race. And I have a feeling from what you're describing, that's what it was. And he's like, yeah, man, I was off the front. I was like, well, we need to work on your racecraft and your understanding. But it was a good video. And basically, this is how you do not attack a race that you want to finish well in. You know, going off the front, it's not a good idea. It's fun while you're doing it, but not the best way to get a high placing. So appreciate it. Fun little video. The Cookie Monster there at the moment was pretty tired, but overall, it was a good day on the bike. All right, guys, appreciate it. We'll see you later.